For Tuesday's lesson, our objective says I can solve real world problems leading to equations of the form p times x plus q equals r and x times p plus q equals r. If that's super confusing for you, all that is the distributive property. So basically we can solve real world problems using the distributive property. You're gonna see two questions very similar to these, so let's get started. Our first question says the length of a rectangle is 8 more than twice its width. The perimeter is 72 feet. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So we know a couple things here. We know the length. If you're like, I don't know the length, well, it tells you, maybe not a number, but it does tell you its value. The length of a rectangle is 8 more than twice its width. So the length equals, if I were to take twice its width, we could write, oftentimes we write length and width as L and W. So if we were to represent twice its width, that would be 2W, so the width times 2, and then 8 more than that. How would we show 8 more than that? We would show plus 8. So the length of a triangle is 8 more than twice its width. Could you write 8 plus 2W instead? Yes, you could. The order doesn't matter. And then the perimeter is 72 feet. So I'm going to write that down as well. That's going to be helpful. Find the dimensions of this rectangle. So that means we are trying to solve for the length and the width. So what I would do is I would go straight to a picture. And I'm going to draw my rectangle. And we know that a rectangle is made up of the length and the width. So here's my width, and here's my length. The perimeter means that if I were to add up all of these sides, it would come out to 72. Okay, now maybe seeming like, well, how do I even get there? Well, we do know the length. So let's actually substitute, instead of writing the length, let's write 2W plus 8 because 2W plus 8 is the length. So instead I'm gonna write 2W plus 8, 2W plus 8. And if you're thinking, why would we do that? Well, now, if the perimeter means that we add them all together, I can now add these W's together, whereas before, I can't add an L plus a W. So I substituted the length for 2W plus 8 because it says the length of a rectangle is 8 more than twice its width. So we have 2W plus 8, W, 2W plus 8, and W. So again, the perimeter means that if we add them all together, we should get 72. So hopefully I have enough room here. If we were to write this into an addition problem, 2W plus 8 plus W plus 2W plus 8 plus W. So there I added all the sides together, plus W, equals the perimeter. If we add them all together, it equals the perimeter, or 72 feet. So now I'm going to combine like terms. I have a lot of W's here. So I'm going to combine all of these W's. 2W plus another W is 3W, plus 2 more is 5W, plus 1 more is 6W. So we have 6W, and then we have 8 plus 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So now we just simplified to 6W plus 16 equals 72. Now I do my two-step equation math. I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. These cancel out. I knew I was going to run out of room. Oh well. So that leaves us with 6W equals... Is that right? Let's see. My math is a little fuzzy right now. 12 minus 6 is 6. We replace that. Yep, 56. And then we would divide each side, by 6. So 56 divided by 6, 6 goes into 56. I guess it'd be 9 times. 9 times 6 is 54. We get a remainder of 2. So that would be, if I wanted to do decimal, I'm going to get a repeating decimal here. So I'm actually going to write this as 9 2/6, which simplifies to 9 1/3. Okay, so that tells us that this W equals 9 1/3. And if you look here, my long division, this remainder would come out to 2/6. So 9 2/6, that simplifies to 9 1/3. So that means that the width is 9 1/3 foot. Okay, 9 1/3 of a foot. We're not done yet because now we have to solve for the length. So if the length is 2 times the width plus 8, that means I have to find 2 times this width, and then I need to add 8. Really running out of room here, that's okay. I'm going to multiply 2 times 9 1/3. So 2 times 9 1/3. I'm going to rewrite 9 1/3 as an improper fraction. So it would be 28 over 3. So this comes out to 2 times 28 would be 56 over 3. And then that would come out to 56 divided by 3. That should be 18 2/3. It's kind of more tricky numbers. Hopefully yours won't be as tricky in your practice, but nonetheless, we know how to work with improper fractions. So 18 2/3, and then plus 8 would be, let's see, 18 plus 8 would be 26. So this would be 26 2/3 of a foot. So we have our length 26 2/3, and our width would be 9 1/3. Okay, but again, it comes down to substitution. That's the most important part. All right, moving into our second example. This one's going to go a lot quicker. Emma's sister is 9 years older than Emma. Their combined ages add up to 49. How old is Emma? So we know that their two ages, it tells us, adds up to 49. If we have Emma's sister, her sister is 9 years older than Emma. So if we had Emma's age, we'll call E for Emma. If Emma's however old she is, and her sister is 9 years older than that, how would we show 9 years older than Emma? Well, we would add 9. So Emma's age plus, I'm going to put her sister's in parentheses, E plus 9. So this is the older sister, and this is Emma. So Emma's age, and if her sister is 9 years older than her, then this is her older sister's age, equals 49. Well, can we combine like terms to solve? Yes, we can. How many E's do we have? We have 2 E's. So this is like saying 2E plus 9 equals 49. And from here, we have a two-step equation. So we are going to subtract 9 from both sides. That leaves us with 2E equals 40. To solve for E, even though it's uppercase, doesn't matter. I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So that means that E equals 20. So Emma is 20, and that means that her sister is 29. 20 plus 29 is 49. So Emma's age equals 20. We can just say that Emma is 20 years old. And there we go.